Hi everyone!
Hey guys, welcome.
Welcome to the stream.
How are you all? Well, let's do our introductions. I'm
Yes.
Sophia,
And I'm Aaron.
and we are in Bologna. I am from London. I have lived in Bologna for 4 years, and I work at my English school, Bologna Mille. I have worked there now for almost 2 years.
Yes, I also work at Bologna Mille. I've worked there for 2.5 years, and I'm originally from Cork, Ireland. Well, near Cork, in the southwest of Ireland.
If you're joining us now, please write for us in the comments your name, where are you from, where are you watching us from, and how are you? And we have also a question for you at the bottom to talk
let's
about.
Do this again.
Yeah, our topic of the day. Tell us about a holiday that didn't quite go as planned.
So maybe you had a minor inconvenience, maybe it was a big problem.
Yeah, tell us what happened to your holiday.
Exactly. Should we start with our stories?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I had some trouble thinking of something, but yeah.
So in general, you have really good
in
holidays
general,
that go off without a hitch.
I've been very lucky. I've never had a holiday where something really went wrong. Maybe, do you have a story?
I have a couple of stories.
Okay, go for
Anyway,
it.
If you're joining us now, welcome. Please introduce yourself in the comments and tell us about a holiday that didn't quite go as planned.
Exactly.
Right, so my holiday in London.
This one again.
We went there with my family and my grandparents. The problem was that it was in the middle of a heat wave. So sometimes in the summer. In London.
Okay.
It was one of the hottest weeks possibly ever recorded, I think. Wow. It was incredibly hot. It was in July. And yeah, it was really hot and stuffy, Okay,
stuffy. So let me write this word up so that our...
Yeah, so it was really hot and muggy, even if you want.
Yeah.
Really humid, really hot, and there was no air. There was literally no air. So we weren't expecting this. And we hadn't checked the forecast because we're like, oh, come on, we know we know what weather, what it's like in London. Like, come on, oh no. So we got there and we all had, the gear we'd have in Ireland as well. So we had,
long jeans,
we had hoodies, we had, a couple of t-shirts, but nothing, not much. But we were very underprepared. So we had to buy shorts and t-shirts just because it was so hot.
Wow. And I think in this holiday, you also had a problem with your hotel room.
Yes, a big problem with my hotel room because our hotel room was incredibly small. It was, really, really small. It was 3 people in the room, myself, my brother, and my mum. And we had very little space. It was really hot. There was no air conditioning. We only had a fan, initially we had a fan in the room that was broken. So the first night we had nothing. The next day they brought us a new working fan. Yeah. So at least we had some air. And and it didn't even have an ensuite bathroom. It had the bathroom was
a shared bathroom.
A shared bathroom with 2 or 3 other rooms. So
not good at all. Not a good really experience. Not a good holiday.
Also, it was on the 5th floor with no lift.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you were very unfortunate there.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Hi Sole.
Hi Sole. Welcome
Good to
back.
See you again.
Welcome back.
I'm trying to think of a bad holiday that I have had, but a couple of times I have been in countries and there has been bad weather. So maybe, for example, when I went to Berlin in February, my most recent holiday.
By the way, please
tell us about a bad holiday experience. So my most recent holiday was in Berlin last month, and it was a wonderful holiday, but it rained the entire time. And as you probably know, sightseeing when it is raining is not the best. So we We tried very, very hard, but mostly we stayed at home, or if we went out, we went to a museum or a closed space to avoid the rain. But apart from that, honestly, I can't think of another bad holiday experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to think with the weather, but
maybe one bad holiday experience. Another one is when I went, it was maybe 7 years ago. I went to Sweden. Let me read Solly's response first before I tell you this story. I had a terrible holiday in December because for 3 months I had gastritis.
Oh no.
Wait, for 3 months? Solly, you had gastritis? That's tough. Gosh,
But
I'm
wait,
sorry.
Was it during the holiday? Did it start after the holiday?
Yeah, tell us about the 3 months. Like, when did it start and when did it end? But yeah, I went to Sweden and I was on my way back to Athens. I lived in Athens at the time. And Sweden, Stockholm has 3 airports. It's quite similar to Milan, has 3 airports. So I got on the shuttle bus to go from the central train station in Stockholm to the airport. And I arrived at the airport and it was the wrong airport.
Oh no.
Yeah, I went to the wrong airport and I was very unfortunate because the airport I went to was the smallest one and the most distant.
Oh no.
So I asked the bus driver, when do you return? When is the next bus? And he said in 1 hour. So I had to wait for 1 hour, go back to the central station, get a different bus, and go to the real airport.
And did you have time to catch your flight?
I caught my flight.
How?
I caught my flight. I was so early that I did actually catch my flight.
That is incredible.
I lost about 5 years of my life for the stress. I had about 10 heart attacks in that day. And I probably lost a few years of my life.
I can imagine,
but it was fine in the end. I have never missed a flight.
Oh, luckily you didn't. So I said it started in November and it ended. There's no need to use the verb to be. It ended in the 1st of January. Wow. I went to Bolzano in the middle of that time.
To Bolzano, nice. Wow, good job. But that sucks. I had gastroenteritis a few years ago, and it is the worst possible illness to have. You cannot eat anything.
It's terrible.
It's horrible. I liked Bolzano. I think it's a nice city.
We visited maybe in November, was it?
I think it was November. Yeah.
It was on our way to Innsbruck.
Yeah. And we
Austria.
stopped in Bolzano for 1 hour. So a brief breakfast in Bolzano.
It was breakfast in Bolzano, yeah.
So if you're joining us now, again, tell us about a holiday that didn't quite go as planned and tell us what went wrong. Was it connected to, like Solly's story, an illness? Was it the weather, like in Aaron's story, or did something else go wrong? Let us know.
Was it the flights?
Was it the flights?
Did they lose your luggage?
Let us know in the comments.
That happened to my mum, for example. It was a long distance flight. It was from we were going to Venezuela, and they lost her bag in Paris airport. So she had to buy all of her clothes again.
I don't see the problem. Let's look at our focus for today.
You need to buy your 6 swimsuits.
Yeah. So today we will talk about a camping trip. Okay. Let's look at our objectives. Do you want to read them, Aaron?
Yeah. In this focus activity, camping vocabulary, modal perfects, and planning a camping trip.
Very nice. So we'll look at our first question. What do you need to pack for a camping trip? We can, have some ideas in the comments.
Yeah.
I was going to.
Go ahead.
I was going to send a message for Solly. It ended.
So think of the essentials. You're going on a camping trip. What are the essentials? What are you going to bring?
Yeah, maybe think about the clothes that you need. think also about the equipment that you will need on a camping
I think we
trip.
have a special guest.
We do have a special guest. Here she is. Hi, Mum. She says, remember the time they lost my luggage in Venice? Yes, I do. And in fact, I was saying yesterday that when I lived in Venice, I had 4 separate visits from 4 different groups of friends. And in 3 of 4 visits, they lost somebody's luggage.
But was it a problem in Venice or was it a problem in their respective airports?
I don't know. I don't know what the problem was because they were different flight companies each time as well. It wasn't always the same company. So I don't understand how it happened, but yeah, 3 out of 4 people who came to Venice to visit me lost their luggage. We have an answer from Sole. Food, water, and a tent. Absolutely.
Okay, excellent.
And I think Aaron will absolutely agree with this.
I 100% agree. Spray for mosquitoes. Yes, we call this mosquito repellent.
Yeah, I'll put this up.
Mosquito repellent. This is very important. For some reason, mosquitoes love me. I don't know whether it's my blood or...
It must be your blood type. Apparently, they're attracted to certain blood types.
Well, then my one is definitely one they like, so I get bitten a lot. This is one of the good things, like everybody complains about the summer in Ireland because it's not very hot and it rains often, but there are no mosquitoes. Let me repeat that. There are no mosquitoes, and that is wonderful.
Yeah. You're also in the worst place in Bologna, in Italy, for mosquitoes as well. Between Emilia-Romagna and Lombardy, you're in the worst possible place for mosquitoes.
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know what else you need.
Valeria. Yeah, sorry,
no, Valentina's here. Hi, Valentina. Good to see you. She says, 3 years ago, I went to, remember Valentina, Tenerife for 1 week, and the first day was cloudy, and I fell asleep. Oh no!
Oh no! I think
under the sun.
The day after, I woke up with a terrible sunburn.
I couldn't even sit down. You poor thing.
Oh no, that is terrible.
Let me remember that the past tense of fall, Valentina, is fell. Okay, felt is the past of feel. Let me write this as well. Feel, felt. So pay attention to your past tenses. And also remember the classic one, go and to in English. I'm putting all of these up in the comments.
And Sola says, now I know where I can pass my summer.
Ireland.
Go to Ireland,
yeah. Or spend my summer. Yeah, it's better. Good, Sola, good catch.
Spend, yeah.
Okay, let's think about more equipment for the camping trip. We have the tent, perfect. But will you just sleep in the tent, or do you need something more, something extra?
To sleep on.
Or sleep in even, also.
Good point, depending on if it's really warm or not.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have some more ideas about equipment. Not only the tent, you need some more things as well.
Also remember the pronunciation is equipment.
Yeah. So you probably don't know this word, so I will help you. When we go camping, we sleep in a sleeping bag. Yes. Okay. Sometimes English is wonderfully simple. Okay. It's a bag and you sleep inside. So we call it a sleeping bag.
Valentina said, yes, perfect.
Valentina's got it. Good job. Yeah. The sleeping bag. Nice. But also, this was my mistake. The first time I went camping, I made this mistake. I had my tent and I had my sleeping bag, and I thought, that's enough, right? I mean, the sleeping bag is soft. Yeah. I can sleep with only the sleeping bag, yes? No, I was completely wrong. It is also absolutely essential to put something between you and the ground. So let us know, what is this thing that we need inside the tent under the sleeping bag?
And also maybe something for your head.
Yeah, maybe also something for your head would be good.
So tell us in the comments, do you know the names of these things?
What about for your clothes when you're camping? Like if you go camping in the mountains, you'll need some particular clothes as well.
Definitely, yeah. If you go camping somewhere warm, you'll need something else.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely need a hat if you go camping in the mountains.
And a coat.
Yeah, gloves are a good idea as well. We have some answers. Sole says a pillow.
Pillow,
absolutely.
Yeah. Wait, pillow?
There it is. A torch is a very good idea, absolutely. And something for the insects. In fact, if you look further up, we had the word mosquito or insect repellent, which is important. The word I was thinking of before is an inflatable mattress.
Yes.
Okay, so of an inflatable mattress, inflatable anything, it could be an inflatable boat or an inflatable pillow, an inflatable animal maybe in the sea. So something that you push air into to
fill it up.
Fill it, yeah. Sole says absolutely a knife.
I don't know why she needed to specify absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never used the knife.
I never use a knife when I go camping, but I mean, because you want to eat fruit.
I imagine she wants to
you need to eat fruit, yes. So you need to have a knife to cut the fruit.
Yes, yeah, I imagine it's for this definitely. Reason, yes.
What else could you need when you go camping? I'm trying to think. Oh, you need good shoes.
Ooh, definitely.
I'll put comfortable shoes.
But we don't say comfortable, but we say comfortable.
I'm trying to spell it. Comfortable shoes. Yeah. Maybe we can take a moment to practice the pronunciation. It's kind of like this, right? You don't put the
comfortable.
Would you say like that? Like, we don't pronounce the second syllable. It's not comfortable, comfortable. So try to eliminate the O in the middle, comfortable.
Solis thinking of
Solis has gone into full-on survival mode here. Or if you want to cut wood or sticks to make fire. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
Though I have to admit, whenever I've gone camping, it was never necessary to make a fire. In fact, it was forbidden to make a fire because it can be a bit dangerous.
Yeah, but I suppose if you go camping in kind of a more secluded or like in the wilderness or in the
absolutely
forest,
it would be necessary.
Yeah.
So what else? Comfortable shoes, because when you go camping, you are always in the countryside. You will be either in the mountains, in the hills, on a beach. So some good shoes are always a good idea.
Definitely. Okay, let's see what else we have.
Let's see some examples. Yeah.
Slide. We have a tent, sleeping bag, which we've already mentioned, a canteen. So what do they mean here as a canteen?
So I think this must be, and we must have some American vocabulary here, because for British English, a canteen is a place to eat.
Yes, usually in your school or where you work. The place where you eat is a canteen. Yeah, it's basically the restaurant of the school or of your workplace.
Exactly. But this is in British English, okay? In American English, a canteen is a
container, should we call it?
Yeah, it's a bottle for water, isn't it? It's essentially a
water bottle. It's one of those kind of more durable, maybe metal or
maybe a military style water bottle.
Exactly, so a military style water
bottle. A thermos, but a more military style water bottle. So a canteen in British English, a place to eat at school or at work. In American English, a water bottle. Just as a flashlight or a lantern, Valentina very correctly gave us the word a torch, which is the British version, but the American version would in fact be a flashlight or a lantern. Marshmallows.
Yes.
I love how we were like,
essential.
We need a flashlight, we need a torch, we need a knife to cut wood to make a fire, but also marshmallows would be very, very nice and important. Also a fishing pole, apparently.
So I would say fishing rod, but
it's true, yeah. Fishing.
I've never actually heard it called a pole.
Fishing pole or a rod maybe is more British. Extra clothes necessary. A trash bag, yeah, to
Or
put
a rubbish bag.
Yeah.
Again, this was definitely written by
This
an
is
American.
definitely an American lesson. So a trash bag or a rubbish bag.
Sole, what kind of question is this?
Come on, Sole, please.
Why are marshmallows indispensable? I think it's quite obvious why they are indispensable.
You disappoint us, Sole. Also, Sole, be careful of your question, okay? Don't forget to invert the subject and the verb. Why are marshmallows? Because they are.
They're just in general indispensable.
So yeah, a trash bag because we care about the environment. We don't want to leave our rubbish everywhere, so we'll put everything into a bag.
Mm-hmm.
What is rain gear?
I imagine this maybe is some extra material that you can put over the tent to make it impermeable.
Yeah. So gear essentially is equipment.
Yeah.
So when we talk about rain gear, we're talking about your raincoat,
Mm-hmm.
your extra cover for the tent to make sure that no water gets inside. You can also have a waterproof cover for your backpack.
Oh
for
yeah.
the rain as well.
A waterproof poncho.
Exactly. It's a poncho, but it's for you, but it's also for your backpack and also for your tent.
Tell us in the comments, do you have a poncho?
Do you have a poncho, and what color is it?
Yes.
Is a very important question. Do you have a poncho?
I don't have a poncho.
Why
no.
don't you have a poncho?
I don't know.
Where's your poncho, Aaron?
I don't know. You'd have to buy me one for my birthday.
I will. I really will.
Do you have a poncho, Sophia?
No, I don't have a poncho either.
Where's your poncho, Sophia?
I don't have one.
How do you spell poncho?
A poncho is like this.
You think it's Spanish, maybe? Poncho.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it's Spanish. Poncho.
And toiletries. What are toiletries? Toiletries is a collective noun.
Yes.
Ooh, Wellington boots.
Yeah, that could be necessary as well when you're camping. If you're expecting rain, you probably need wellies. Yeah, thanks, Mum.
Yes, Wellington boots are specifically boots that are waterproof.
Yeah,
and they're usually quite rugged.
She says, I don't have a poncho, I prefer to take a shower. Good answer, Sona. Yeah, toiletries, as Aaron said, a collective noun, all the things you need in your bathroom to get ready in the morning. So your toothbrush and toothpaste. What else? Your brush for your hair. Deodorant, absolutely. Any cream, maybe. Shampoos, etc. are your toiletries. Next question is, what are some potential problems you might need to prepare for? So Aaron will prepare this question. Our question is camping. What could go wrong? And if any of you have ever tried camping in your lives, you already know that the answer is everything. So the question is here, tell us what could go wrong when you are camping.
Wait, come on. Yes. No, where is it? Here. Okay, perfect. Camping, what could go wrong? Tell us in the comments. I've only been camping once, so I don't have that much experience, but I can imagine. We actually have a couple of focuses, a focus and a lesson in the Myes repertoire. There's one in particular that is called Camping in Ireland. And it's all about a camping trip in Ireland, and it is an absolute disaster.
It's
why would people go camping in Ireland is still
there's no mosquitoes.
Yeah, but also it just rains all the time. So what's the point?
So Liz says, I think that Aaron and me have the same problems. Oh, it could be. So yeah, problems when camping. Number one, you could believe that you are a super survivor and you don't need a mattress.
Yes.
That could be one problem. It could rain the entire time.
Yeah, so do not go camping in Ireland, guys. Bad idea.
Let's see. You could, I have another one. Hi, Doretta, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Doretta, we are talking about camping. We'd like you to have a think and tell us in the comments what could go wrong when you are camping.
This is something that I've always seen in films and movies, especially American ones. But if you're camping in the forest in the US, animals,
Yeah,
wild
absolutely.
animals, you need
Wild
to be
animals
careful.
are a very big potential problem. Obviously, as you said, depending on where you go. But wild animals, for example, I think in America, the biggest problem, well, bears are probably not the biggest problem, but
Sometimes we wanted to write it in the comments, but
I'll put wild animals, e.g., bears or maybe raccoons. I think in the US,
Yeah.
raccoons could be a problem.
Can we explain what a raccoon is?
Yeah, it's I imagine a raccoon is kind of in the middle of a bear and a squirrel.
Yeah, it's
Like
true.
if a bear and a squirrel had a baby
It would be a
and
raccoon.
they gave it black eyes and black and white stripes on its tail, it would be a raccoon.
So it says raccoons are cute. No, raccoons are pests. Raccoons are little devils.
And she also says, insects, I don't have a sense of orientation at all. 3 restroom, 4 animals. Yeah, and she also says, I want a raccoon. You can have a raccoon in the United States. People have them as pets.
People have them as pets?
Yeah, in the United States, yeah.
Why would you want a raccoon as a pet?
So yeah, the restroom, not having a bathroom could be a problem, especially if you are camping in the wilderness.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
always have been camping in organized campsites, so there were showers, there were bathrooms. Not the best, I have to say, but there was something.
There was
at
something,
least.
yeah.
And yeah, getting lost if you are in the mountains in a forest could be a problem.
Definitely, if you don't bring your map, your compass, your I don't know, navigator, your GPS or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's very common, that people get lost in the mountains and stuff.
Yeah, and then they need to be rescued as well. I also sometimes go camping at music festivals. Okay, in the summer they organize music festivals, and if you want to stay for more than one day, many people take their tents and they camp at the music festival. So I used to do this quite often, and one potential problem is drunk people trying to get back to their tents at 4 a.m. and falling onto your tent and breaking it. Yes, I was the drunk person.
No! Did you break someone's tent?
I fell onto someone's tent and broke it.
Oh my god, that is terrible.
I didn't break the tent, I collapsed the tent.
Okay, but the tent was broken.
It was collapsed, yeah. We put it back up. We did not make friends.
Were they very angry?
No, they weren't. Well, yeah, I think they were.
Where were you? What music festival?
This was a music festival in Greece I went to one summer. But yeah, this could be a problem. Drunk people collapsing onto your tent.
Yeah, these people, honestly, not to be trusted. Not to be trusted.
Yeah, camping is not only a solitary thing in the wilderness. So let's see, we've got cold weather, rain, no clean water, no food, broken equipment.
Because of someone drunk fell on your equipment.
Good job. Okay, let's go on.
Let's go on.
So how could these campers have better prepared for the following problems?
Let's see. We ran out of food. We were freezing in our tents. It rained and we got soaked and we couldn't toast marshmallows.
Very nice. So we're going to look at our modal perfects today. This is our grammar.
Dun, dun, dun. So put another banner.
Should have, shouldn't have, could have, couldn't have, would have, and wouldn't have. Okay, we want to make sentences using these problems and how these campers could have prepared for them better. Okay, maybe we should do one as an example, just to show them how it's done. So
we ran out of food. So run out means you finish.
To run out of is to finish.
Yeah, so for example, we should have brought more food.
Yeah, that's good. So
we should have packed more food.
Let's put this example.
Or maybe we should have rationed food.
Yeah. So, for example, we should have packed more food. Remember, we use the modal verb have and then the past participle. We should have packed more food, but we didn't. So it finished. We ran out of food. Or the other one, Aaron said, we should have rationed the food. What does it mean, ration?
Ration is when you find yourself in this situation, you don't have enough food. So you decide to limit the amount of food that you have at each meal so that you make the food last longer.
Okay, that's a good explanation. Yeah. So while you are thinking of some examples.
So do something similar in the comments, write some similar phrases.
So just to look at the use of the different modal perfects. Should have, remember, is for a good idea. Okay, so something that was a good idea to do, but wasn't done. Then we have could have for a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay, could have for a possibility.
One of many options.
Let me just look at Solly's response.
We were freezing in our tents. We should have taken more clothes and blankets.
Yeah, that's
Perfect
a very
use
good
of the modal.
one. Yeah.
But be careful of your verb tense. We use the past participle.
Exactly. So try Solly, we should, and then it's essentially the present perfect. Okay, do you want to write it again so we can see it? And then we'll have would have is the outcome, which did not happen. Okay, so we use would have for the outcome. Okay. What else could we say? It rained and we got soaked.
By the way, soaked. This is a great adjective
that's
as well.
One as well.
Soaked is when you get really, really wet.
Yeah.
Soaked. Because soak is it's soak. You could soak clothes, for example, when you want to wash them by hand.
Absolutely.
Sometimes there's some really tough dirt or stain to get out of some clothes. It's good to leave them to soak. So leave them in water maybe for a few hours or even for a night.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give this as an example.
Which one?
The same as before, but I'll just change the modal verb.
Yeah, so ration the food.
We ran out of food. We could have rationed the food. So it's not as strong as we should have rationed the food. I'm not saying that it was a good idea. I'm saying that there was a possibility we could have rationed the food so that we would have more to eat.
Yeah, I suppose we use should have when it's the clear option. It's a clear thing that we didn't do.
It's the most sensible idea.
While could have, I suppose it means there are multiple different things that we could have done.
Exactly.
But we didn't do any of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's think of some more examples. We have it rained and we got soaked. Maybe for the third one, we should.
What word did we use earlier to make things waterproof?
What word do we use to make things waterproof?
No. What word did we use earlier to talk about the stuff we need?
Poncho.
No, also. No, but we had water gear or
rain gear.
Rain gear.
Okay.
Rain gear, yes.
So we should have packed rain gear, maybe.
And Sully says we couldn't toast marshmallows, so we would have made a fire. Not quite.
No, I'm trying to work out how to change this sentence. We couldn't post, we would have made a fire.
So remember, the would have is the consequence.
Exactly.
So
I could say we would have toasted marshmallows if we had marshmallows.
Or we couldn't toast marshmallows. We would have eaten so well.
Yeah, good one. We would have eaten well. Should I just write that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we couldn't toast marshmallows, but we would have eaten well.
If we had toasted marshmallows.
Exactly.
But
So would have comes after, whereas
Mhm.
should and could have come before, I
Yeah.
think. I think that's the main difference between them.
So in this case, to correct Sole's answer, we'd say we couldn't toast marshmallows, so we couldn't toast marshmallows. We should have made a fire.
Exactly. So in Sole's example, we should have made a fire before
Mhm.
in order to toast marshmallows. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Shall we go on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
So
Expressing regret with modal perfect.
exactly. So when we express regret, we're talking about something that we wish had happened in the past. So we have our two different, we have our modal verbs on the left and the end of our sentences on the right. Shall we read them?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones on the left are they could have packed, they should have taken, they shouldn't have gone, I would have, and I wouldn't have. On the right.
And on the right, sorry, I was looking at what's the difference between the final two. I couldn't see that it was negative. We have looked for sticks, extra clothes, rain gear, been so ill prepared, so badly prepared, and without plenty of food. So let's try to match together the different parts of these sentences to make complete sentences which express regrets. Okay. And I'm going to try and do this now.
Exactly. So in the comments, if you don't want to write the entire sentence, you could just put one and A or B or C or D.
Exactly. I think also the main thing that will help you is the verb. Okay. Look at verbs like pack, take, go, which will help you decide which objects, which nouns go better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. While in another one, we have a verb. But
exactly on the right, you mean?
Yes, on the right. So that should also give you an indication.
Yeah.
And so this says number one with extra clothes.
I agree.
Yes, I agree.
I think she's right.
I think so too. Excellent. Well done.
Yeah, very nice job, Solo.
Exactly. They could have packed extra clothes. What situation could this be?
Maybe a situation where they think it's going to be very hot, but in reality it's cold. So they should have packed extra clothes to protect themselves. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, when we went to London, we could have packed some summer clothes. That would have solved our problem. But we didn't, so
it was cold.
It was
hot. It was hot.
It was
exactly.
Hot.
I'm trying to do the other ones. It's not easy. Okay, I have some. I think I've got it. Let's see for number two. They should have taken. Soli says for two, rain gear. Again, I think she is right.
Should have taken rain gear.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So what happened in this situation, in your opinion?
We got they got so soaked during the camping trip, they should have taken rain gear.
Exactly. So it rained and they got soaked. What about for the next one? I think here we have gone, which is our verb. So we do not need a verb in the second part of the sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think you're absolutely right. They shouldn't have gone without plenty of food. So in this situation, I think they probably went hungry.
Yes.
They didn't have enough food.
They ran out of food. They should have gone without. They shouldn't have gone without plenty of food.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing to match the negatives and the positives in this.
I would definitely not say it this way. I'd say they should have gone with more food.
Exactly. Yeah.
Instead of using two negatives to make a positive, but still.
Sola says for four, looked for sticks, and I think she's right.
Yes.
I would have looked for sticks.
Here we have the past participle would have plus past participle.
Yeah. So probably this person needed a fire, but didn't have any wood, so they couldn't make a fire.
Yeah, or maybe I would have looked for sticks, but I hurt my ankle.
Yeah, that's another possibility. And I wouldn't have been so ill prepared. So taking everything before, if I had packed extra clothes, if I had taken rain gear, I wouldn't have been ill prepared.
Ill prepared.
Okay.
Ill prepared would be badly prepared.
Exactly. Let me write that up as well.
In this case, it's not ill as in sick, but it's ill as in bad.
Ill prepared, badly prepared. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah.
So we are continuing now with modal verbs. We have two paragraphs. We will complete the gaps with the modal verb that we think is best.
Exactly.
Okay.
So again, we're looking for modal perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then in the gaps, we like modal verb to complete the 2 short stories about experiences. So tell us what you would complete. What you would put in these blanks?
Yeah. Should we read them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start?
A few of us went camping at a national park nearby. I would say in a national park.
I think either one is okay. In a national park.
In or at. It was in the middle of July, but we somehow were run into cold, rainy weather. We checked the forecast. We also didn't pack enough warm clothes, so we were freezing in the ill-equipped tent. We been stuck without our rain gear if we'd been better prepared.
Nice. I'll read the other one. So our first family camping experience wasn't so bad. I was worried that we'd be stuck without necessities and prepared meticulously. This sounds like me. We taken care of our meals at a cafeteria nearby, but I packed extra food just in case we got hungry at night. Although we went through the marshmallows so fast, I packed more. I think I'd say however in this one. Not although, but however for the final one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Solid has written have and Dorothy has written had. Remember, guys, we need the modal perfect. So we need the modal verb as well as have in these examples.
So remember, a modal perfect is modal.
It's 2 words.
Have, and then the past participle of the verb. You have the past participle, we need the modal and have.
Exactly. Should, would, or could.
Yeah. So the options here are should have, could have, would have.
Or the negative as well.
Shouldn't have, couldn't have, wouldn't have. We might maybe write them.
Yeah. Let's write them so that we can see our options. Should have,
could have, and would have. And we have another reply from your mom.
Yeah.
Saying should have.
For the first one,
yes.
I agree with her.
Excellent. Well done.
Yeah. I think in the first one, should have. It was a good idea. It was the most sensible thing to do, but we didn't do it.
So
yeah. What about for the next one? We been stuck without our rain gear if we'd been better prepared. Yeah, Sole says should have, but I'm not sure if she means the first or the second.
I imagine she means the first.
I imagine so too. Yeah. So good, Sole, for the first one.
The second one instead, we need something else.
Yeah.
Notice that we have if we'd been better prepared. So this is technically a third conditional.
It's a third conditional. Nice. She's got it. For the second one, we need a negative.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have been stuck without our rain gear if we had been better prepared. If you switch these around, if we had been better prepared, we wouldn't have been stuck. You see, we have a perfect third conditional. Good.
Well done,
Doretta has it as well. Nice one. Let's go over to our second text now. We taken care of our meals at a cafeteria nearby, but I packed extra food. Okay. What do we think for this one?
This one's quite difficult, actually.
Yeah, I think here we're talking about different possibilities. One possibility is the cafeteria. The other possibility is
which we didn't.
which we did do,
was
is the extra food. Okay.
So if you remember our explanation from earlier, you should be able to do this.
Yeah. Let's see what our students say. I'm trying to think of other vocabulary, but
Are there any other words? Well, meticulously.
yeah,
but
I think
it's
it must
quite
be very similar in Italian as well. Yeah, so meticulous is very, very careful.
Again, Doretta, we're looking for a modal perfect. We have different options. Your mum says should have. Sole says could have.
Exactly. And I think sole is right on this one. Okay.
Hopefully the focus agrees with us. Yes, yeah. Exactly. Because we had the possibility of eating our meals at the cafeteria, but we also had the possibility of eating our food. And that's the one we went with.
Exactly. And the final one, what do we think? We went through the marshmallows so fast, I packed more. Okay, I think I know this one. What do we think for the final one?
Yeah, I would definitely use however instead of although.
Yeah, right? I feel like it's not quite the right use of although here.
Again, here we're expressing a regret because we went through the marshmallows so quick. Go through something, it means, in this case, eat it all.
Mum says would have. I'm not sure if it's would have. I think here we want to say that it was a good idea to pack more. So I think for this one, we will put, Doretta and Sole both say should have. And I think they are right.
I think so too.
Yeah. So for this one, I should have packed more. It was a good idea to pack more.
But I didn't. So we ran out of marshmallows.
Exactly.
Indispensable.
So let's look at, well, we'll do the opposite this time. So it says at the top, expressing regret often implies a result different from what one wishes he or she had done. So what we will do is complete these sentences with some possible results. So, for example, we should have checked the forecast, the weather forecast, but we didn't. So the rain flooded our tent. Okay.
So full of water. So let's look at number one. We could have taken more marshmallows,
but we didn't. So
tell us in the comments.
Yeah, we want you to finish these sentences. But we didn't. So.
We could have taken more marshmallows, but we didn't. So, tell us in the comments. I want to know.
Okay. So
be creative. There is no correct answer here.
We are completing this sentence. We could have taken more marshmallows, but we didn't. So we
ate a raccoon.
That's really good, actually.
But please give your own interpretations in the comments.
Oh God. Sole says, what is a forecast? A weather forecast is the predictions for the weather.
What the weather is going to be.
Exactly. It's what you read on your phone in the morning.
I think your mum agrees with us, although it's not the correct connective.
Yeah, it's not the right connective to use here. We'll have to change it. Okay. Yeah, that's good, Doretta. You've used both. We could have taken more marshmallows, so we wouldn't, attention, have run out of them. Okay. Don't forget to use, you need 3 words here: modal, have, and past participle. Okay.
But otherwise it's correct. So we wouldn't have run out of them.
Exactly. What else could we write?
Let's have a look at the second one because we're running out of time.
Oh, yeah. So
we wouldn't have been so cold if we'd taken extra clothes.
Here's one example. But we didn't, so we. But we didn't, so.
I don't know. had to build a big fire.
Okay, that's nice. We had to build a big fire.
We've taken more marshmallows, so we wouldn't have
eaten again. Okay,
Remember your
good,
have.
Sole. Remember the second word.
Okay, I think we're running out of time.
Oh, no,
Thank you
what
very
about the
much
third
for
one?
joining us. Remember to check out the Myes SOS page as well. You can post all of your English questions there.
I'll just put up the answers so that people can see them.
Okay.
And yes, keep practicing your modal perfect. Thank you very much, guys.
See you next
Bye.
time.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.